I got loyalty, got royalty inside my DNA. I got jealousy, got war and peace inside my DNA. I got poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA. 死んだ天性 I was born in this world. Immaculate conception, not just something born like this without you, what new weapon I know. Yo, what's good, bro?
What's up?
All right, welcome everybody. Okay, so today I just wanted to do a quick, brief discussion.
Bro, did you just say queef?
Well,
Fuck.
I ain't gonna lie, my voice is kind of messed up because I have like allergies problems right now. So
I bet. I bet.
Sorry. So if I sound like I'm eating, I'm chewing on a cough drop. So y'all bear with me, guys. But I want to do a brief discussion because everybody's thinking that Beerus, they say Beerus is the strongest god of destruction. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and break down the competition. Okay, so we all know Beerus is one of the strongest god of destructions of the 11 universes, as we far know. And with a lot of people saying that the fish dude and the clown dude being stronger than Beerus.
Belmont, and I forget who this is.
Yeah,
But I know the clown is Belmont.
They know because they're saying how when the God of Destructions fought before the Tournament of Power, it was really like you can actually tell who won out of all of them. That and they ain't gonna lie, that Fox dude is actually strong too.
Granted, that was strictly in the manga version. In the anime version, they never fought. The destroyers never fought. God, I can't talk.
But why do we have an episode with them fighting though?
All the gods of destruction fight each other for Zeno's amusement in the manga. In the anime, it might have been a quick skirmish or them just getting in a shouting match. Oh, you're talking about that brief display they did just before the tournament started to test the material. Okay, but that was just a short skirmish that lasted like what, 5 minutes?
Yes. And we all know that fish dude and that fox dude and the clown dude was overpowering everybody.
I agree.
I mean, crap. Even Champa is no competition to Beerus.
They're relatively the same. Beerus just only has the edge because he's still in a decent. He has good physique. He's in good shape. Where Champa is just lazy and has no real motivation.
But a lot of people are saying that now that Goku is training Broly and Vegeta is learning spirit and mind control, and Goku is mastering Ultra Instinct and all his transformations, that they're saying everybody agrees or in the community that Beerus can be overpowered by these three if fought at once.
In a combined effort, yes. You got the agility and adaptability. You got the durability of Ultra Ego Vegeta. You got the instinctiveness of Ultra Instinct Goku, and you just have the tank that is Berserk or Legendary Super Saiyan Broly.
But here is where the conversation gets very interesting. We have not seen Beerus 100%.
The only time we did was in the anime. Well, the only time we did was in the Battle of Gods fight where Goku was getting used to the power and they were destroying at least in the anime version, they were destroying the microcosm. So in order to, he was essentially just using Hakai to negate the beam struggle. That's the only time we've ever seen Beerus use or any real considerable amount of effort when he Hakai's an energy blast or Zamasu.
True.
But I feel like Beerus is always going to be that contending yardstick. Because the moment he surpassed or Goku and Vegeta, they have nothing else to learn from him, Beerus is just going to become redundant, or at the very least be reduced to a gag character, which he kind of is. But at least as a benchmark, he's at least a bit more relevant in the plot. At least that's what I think.
Right. So if we break down character by character, Broly, now I'm just going to go ahead and say it. No one really knows the extent of Broly's power for the simple fact of that, we know he was a tank in Dragon Ball Super Broly, but we never got a glimpse of his power while training with Goku and Vegeta on Beerus' planet. Now, are they trying to see if Broly is God Key material? Yes, but in all the whole purpose of him training there is to get a understanding and a better control of his, destructive power.
of his power and of himself. Because essentially, Broly is the Tarzan, or at least this version of Broly. I
Yeah.
prefer Z Broly personally, but Super Broly is
Oh
essentially Tarzan.
no, no! Just imagine Z Broly on Beerus's planet. Oh my god.
What it could have been.
Oh, me, monster? No, I am the devil.
You cannot do the voice to save your life, bro.
Nah.
Me? A monster? No. I am the devil!
Kakarot, do you love your son? No, he was such a beast, bro. Mopping the floor with every. I'm talking about slam, slam into the wall, through a mountain. Oh, I'm still standing. Oh, you thought I was gone. Slam. Bro, he was not playing around with them.
Now we're talking about the first movie. The sequels were
Yes.
the Second Coming and Bio Broly were just blatant cash grabs.
Now, Second Coming was better than Bar Broly now.
Oh, by far. By far.
Like that ending when Goten's like, I wish Dad was here. Goten, Gohan, you did well, my sons, but this is my fight. Broly is my concern. And I like how he just jumps down and then he just goes Super Saiyan. And Broly's like, Kakarot. And then Trunks comes and just throws that key blast, like, take this, choke on it. And then he was like, together. And then he's gone like that.
Well, technically he's blasted into the sun, but
No, I'm talking about Goku. Like, I thought if he was to wish back, I thought he would have at least been there at the end of the movie, but he was gone.
at the time the movie was released, I think this was very early on, if not the tail end of the Great Saiyaman saga, but before Goku. Because again, this was during the theatrical release, and the movies kind of deviate from the main series. So at the time Second Coming was released, at least in Japan theatrically, Toriyama had decided to bring Goku back in the main story for the tournament and the Buu saga. I think this was very early on in the Great Saiyaman arc.
Yeah, he wasn't able to be wished back then.
Yeah, so this was very early on in the Great Saiyaman time. Very early on.
But what do you think is the extent of Broly's power? I mean, as of now.
Okay, he's on a path to better control himself, get proper experience, or at the very least learn the basics. So I'd say Broly is right. Okay, he was relative to Gogeta Blue in the movie. He just didn't have any real battle experience. He was just lashing out of
He didn't
instinct.
have the stamina like Gogeta Blue did.
He didn't have the stamina, nor did he have the experience to hold out in a dragged out fight.
Because you got to think, Gogeta really overpowered Broly. I mean,
He
in
did.
Super Saiyan, Broly stood a chance in his full power form. But when
Yes.
he went Gogeta Blue, that it was a wrap. Gogeta was literally towing with him, and you got to think that moment where Goku or Gogeta was literally charging that Kamehameha. You saw how Whis looked there and smiled. At that moment, it has been confirmed that Whis knew that Gogeta Blue would have overpowered Beerus.
Had the potential. Had the potential to overpower Beerus. But let's
Because
be honest.
I
Oh,
mean,
go
because
ahead.
you got to think, why else would we sit there and smile? Like that smirk really told it. Like we knew something.
I think it's more the fact that Goku and Vegeta probably could beat Beerus if they worked together, and fusion would be the best symbol of that.
I mean, even I think Vegeta would probably tow with Beerus.
Even if he does have the Ultra Ego form specifically, which does enhance his durability and allows him to adapt, Beerus is more experienced with destructive energy, and Beerus is more than willing to play dirty if the situation comes down to it.
Right.
Vegeta would be able to put up one hell of a fight. He'd be able to do way better than he did earlier in this training, but Beerus would still dog him. It's not even a contest. Vegeta would
So
get a few lucky hits in, but Beerus is just going to dog him in the end.
yeah, but now we will get into Beerus here in a minute. Now, when it comes to Vegeta, I feel like Vegeta has learned from the Tournament of Power. I feel like he said in Dragon Ball Super, he was telling Goku that he says, "Did you see how sharp Beerus's punches were? How he stayed calm no matter how intense the fight got until the very end when he started, I guess, he started feeling something then when Master UI Goku was really putting uh, I guess
Pushing
upset,
him,
push,
basically
yeah,
pushing him.
and he was getting frustrated. I would say he was getting frustrated. But at the same time, before then, before he pushed Goku to that form, Jiren literally stayed calm with just like no smile. Just he just
Stoic,
looked. Yes,
very
he just,
stoic.
and his punches were sharp.
They were.
Now, I feel like Vegeta is now, I guess, trying to, I guess, gain that ability, or I would call Jiren's ability of meditation. He wants to be in one with his body and mind because I guess he thinks that he that'll be his way of Ultra Instinct, I guess. But that's where Ultra Ego came in.
But with Vegeta, he's not going to be all tried and true to where he's free of his burdens. His instinct is swayed with his battle lust and his sense of self, his valor, his personal pride. Those are foundational traits, and that's Vegeta's path to power. And it does allow Vegeta to carve his own path to power without chasing Goku. So I feel that disconnect. So I feel that disconnect is relatively commonplace. But again, Vegeta's trying to do his own thing, and he's a lot better than he used to be. But he's not Beerus 1-1. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I ain't gonna think he's gonna beat Beerus 1-on-1. But I do feel like Vegeta and Goku are, I guess, at their current level, UI and Ultra Ego are still kind of evenly matched.
Yeah, they're relative to each other, if not
Because
dead even.
one is a tank and one is a dodge, or
Speed.
yeah, one's speed and one's a tank. Because no matter how hard you hit Ultra Ego Vegeta, he will literally sit there and smile at you.
And he'll get a boost from the damage as long as the stamina holds out. Yes, Vegeta will get a power boost. He will get stronger from scrapping and adapting to Beerus. But the moment his stamina gives out, Beerus is just going to dog him into the dirt and end the fight right then and there.
Yeah. Wait, you said he gets a power boost by every time he takes a hit?
Yes, because if you remember from the manga, every time he takes damage in that form, he gets slightly stronger, on top of already adapting as a Saiyan as the battle progresses. The only reason he couldn't beat Granola is because he kept getting hit in pressure points and his body gave out.
I don't think I ever got that far. I've gotten to
Oh, you haven't gotten to the end of the Granola arc
no,
yet.
I haven't got to the end. I have barely scraped the beginning. I'm not trying to spoil it because I want to see the TV show.
Okay, you can be an anime only. I just don't think that with everything going on with Heroes and Toei prioritizing One Piece, I feel like if we're ever gonna get this animated, it's gonna be a movie adaptation rather than Super coming back. That's just me.
Yeah, but it has been confirmed that Super is coming back, but what arc we don't know.
I think that was more of a web series. I just don't know if it's super
Or
specific.
I feel like we might get a movie for the Granola arc, and we might get the Dragon Ball Super is going to come back as a series for the Moro arc.
Technically, the Moral takes place before the Granola. They're kind of like back
Okay,
to back.
okay. So like I said, it was either going to be one or the other. We're going to get a movie, and then we're going to get a show. Now, what arc I don't know, but
Okay,
we'll find out eventually
we'll
whenever
find out. We'll find
Akira Toriyama wants to do something. But when it comes to Goku, I feel like he's learning Ultra Instinct very fast. I mean, even though he's not training the way Vegeta is, Goku likes training more physically. But I feel like he's adapting his Ultra Instinct through all like base form, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan. I mean, I feel
Okay,
like the only one that he can't is Super Saiyan 3 because that is a stamina drain.
it is. Now, if a dead if you're in other world and a dead fighter's body, you're not limited by stamina, so you can hack Super Saiyan 3 as much as you want. Sure, if Goku took the time to master it with proper key control, yeah, you stabilize the form itself, but you'll still have a stamina problem if the fight drags out. The only time you ever use Super Saiyan 3 is if you're going to end the fight right then and there. You can't afford to show off.
Yeah,
But Ultra Instinct is more spiritual based, whereas Ultra Ego is more physical or combative based.
yeah. Which one do you think is stronger? I think Ultra Instinct is.
Yeah, because it allows you to react on instinct and attack when necessary. It's complete zen of thought, mind, and body. Ultra Ego, again, it can do a lot, but Ultra Instinct is more practical, or at the very least, it's more
Now, a
spiritually
lot of
inclined.
people say Ultra Instinct is more of a style and more than a transformation, or it's more of a skill than it is a transformation.
I understand.
But why does Goku's hair change and why does his aura change?
To show the transcendence of a divine technique and Saiyan
Okay,
biology.
so why
He
in
doesn't
game
have the
why
mass
because see in games they say it's a transformation.
because at least at that time he doesn't have the mastery or the Zen to truly utilize Ultra Instinct in his base. If you go off the manga, yes, I'm not saying Master Roshi had Ultra Instinct. Master Ultra Instinct is a combination of spiritual, mental, and the body, a complete state of Zen and not being swayed by your
Now,
emotions.
would you say Jiren had it too?
He had a strong sense of Zen, yes, but Jiren believed in absolutes. And if
He
that principle was challenged, or if he was backed into a corner, Jiren could lose his composure. Jiren essentially lost his composure. He lost his Zen. The moment Goku mastered Ultra Instinct, he achieved Zen, thus the white-haired form. It was the first time Jiren had been pushed into a corner, literally since the loss of his master and the massacre of his fellow students by the evildoer. That's probably the first time since then Jiren's actually been pushed in a fight.
right.
So it was very easy for him to lose his composure, and he took a pod shot at the stands just because, which is petty, mind you, but it was just a means to piss Goku off so he actually takes the fight seriously. But Jiren just completely lost it. He was going through dread. He was reliving his PTSD from the villain massacre and the notion that Jiren could lose. He lashed out, he lost his composure, and he took a pod shot at the stand, which he technically could have gotten disqualified for that, but hey, Grand Zero, the Zenos wanted to be entertained, so they let that slide.
And then on top of that, as many times as he got knocked out of the ring, he just found a way to get back up. And I'm just like, bruh.
All you had to do was land on a piece of debris. As long as you land on a piece of the stage or a piece of debris, you're fine.
Yeah, I feel like Jiren had more. I guess he would have been more of a god of destruction than Topo was, because by far Jiren was way stronger.
Oh, Topo had a hero complex. He's very capable as a destroyer, but the only thing really holding Topo back is his sense of justice to the point that it's the hero complex.
And Jiren just doesn't care.
Yeah, Jiren's absolute. He does not care. He'll get the job done. He'll protect the universe and stop evildoers, but at the end of the day, Jiren does not care. He has a complete. I'm not going to say he has a complete state of Zen. Otherwise, he wouldn't have lost the way he did in the Tournament of Power. But he was much better. He was much further along in that aspect than what Goku and Vegeta were.
True. Now, before we move on to talk about Beerus, who do you think would have won in the fight, Jiren or Broly?
Ooh, that's a close fight. The
'Cause
only okay,
they both
Broly,
adapting. They're both adapting.
yes, but Broly has no real sense of self. He's completely mindless. He's practically, like I said, Tarzan. He's practically a savage. If we're factoring mental rigidity, Jiren could tire Broly out because again, Broly can rampage. He can go into car. He can go into raffle. But stamina is still a key factor, and without proper experience, without proper training, without proper stamina and key control, Broly will inevitably burn himself out. Yes, he'll adapt. He'll put up a fight, but eventually Jiren will come out on top. But if we say like through Goku and Vegeta's training, Broly is at least has a stronger mental fortitude. He's more composed. He's not going to reach He's not going to reach Zen anytime soon. Like Hunter X, he's not going to reach Zen anytime soon because that's a lifetime achievement. But at the very least, he'll be more composed in his transformed state. So he'll
Right.
give. I just say Jiren will edge out due to experience. Broly will put up one heck of a fight. He'll probably take some damage, but Jiren will edge out due to experience alone.
I feel like Broly and Jiren would like tire each other out before a winner is confirmed.
It depends how much Jiren holds back. If Jiren drags the fight, then yes, it could easily lead to a stalemate. But if Jiren goes full power from the start, he'll edge out.
But I feel like Broly would just keep adapting, and then eventually he's gonna snap into a new form.
You mean break his limits like he did in the tournament?
No, I feel like how he went Super Saiyan, but then when he fought before when he fought Gogeta, he snapped into full power. So what is stopping him from snapping into something like a Super Saiyan 4 transformation or something like that?
It just depends if the fight is dragged out. Like I said, if Jiren goes all out, or at the very least he dominates over Broly and knocks him out from the start, he'll probably take a few scars or some battle damage, but Jiren will edge out due to experience and stronger sense of being composed. It just depends how much if Jiren takes the fight seriously or not. If it's just a sparring match that and Broly goes off the deep end, it just depends. It's basically Jiren versus Kale. It's basically the same thing. But
Matt,
Kale just went on a bloody rampage, and then just Jiren. All Jiren had to do was fire a key blast in her direction.
I
That
feel
was
like
strange.
it. I feel like that fight would be more of a Yuasan Goku versus Kefla.
I agree with Jiren just dodging around, going for counters and body blows. Broly tires out, and then Jiren gets the dub. But
Because I
okay,
feel like he would sit there, dip and dodge. They might do a little clashing, dip, dodge, and then when Broly lashes out and puts everything he has, like I'm talking about burning through all his energy, all Jiren has to do is just flick of his wrist.
yeah, Jiren is gonna now Broly's gonna put up one of a fight, but Jiren is gonna come out on top. I'm not saying okay, it's gonna be more difficult than Jiren just overpowering Kefla and just shoving her out of bounds.
Yeah,
He's
because kind of Goku did dirty with that, riding the Kamehameha on her key wave, and then did a whole 360 backflip and then blasted her in the face. That was dirty. That was straight dirty. He did her wrong. He did her wrong.
Hey, they were cocky. They had to learn a valuable lesson. Don't get drunk on your own power and don't underestimate your opponent.
This and she's over there saying, "You can't dodge in midair, Goku. I got you now. Burn it hell!" And then he just like one blink, yeet, and then she's like, "Uh-oh." I mean, she ate that for breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert, snack. She drunk that for the rest of the week. Like she got a whole mouthful of that Kamehameha. I was like, good God, boy, that was dirty.
I don't even think they're kids. I think there might be I think those two like Kale, Khalifa, and Kaba, there might be a little bit older than Goten and Trunks, but not by much. I still think they're in their late teens,
I feel
early
like
20s.
Caulifla has potential,
No, don't get me wrong, they have potential. They're just young.
and Kale, she's just more like a little weaker female version of Broly. I don't think that we're gonna see much of her.
She's a glorified tribute of E Broly. That's all she is, and a little bit of an Easter egg to set up the movie after the tournament concludes. Because again, while the tournament of power was going on, or at least being syndicated in the anime, the movie was in pre-production. So
Yeah. So we
yeah, it's
weren't,
a good
and you
it's a
see,
good tribute.
it would have been better if they would have made Z Broly canon that way.
I mean, you didn't really have to change all that much.
I
Just
mean,
remove.
they did a whole remake on Broly at that point. Sorry to get off topic, guys, but I'm just saying, like if they would have just kept Z Broly or brought Z Broly back in a different way, or if they would have made him canon, that would have been better than remake. I feel like they should have did that instead of remaking Broly, or in my defense, make Cooler canon.
I still say you're gonna have any movie villain to get canonized yet next. If they're gonna canonize another movie villain, Cooler's next on the list. Unless
It's
we're counting Tarble, but he's
no,
practically
I feel like
semi-canon.
it'll either be I feel like it'll be Cooler or it'll be Turles.
What can you really do with Turles at this point? Unless
I
you
ain't
do
you
like
know you can't like Turles is probably due for a new movie.
true, but you can't really make him a villain per se. You can make like a space bandit adventure or a spin-off with the Galactic Patrol. You can't have him directly
Or what
confront.
about Hachiat? The one where
Hachiab was exclusive to Raging Blast 2. It could work,
I mean,
but
because you got to think uh
like
that
the
no one really talks about Hachiak, but that man, he bodied them folks. It took all of them to blast him at once.
okay, there are like two versions of Hachiya. You have the multi-path game from the late 90s, early 2000s exclusively in Japan, and then you have the OVA you have the OVA version which stemmed from a video game. I forget which one. But
I
and
want to
then you have,
say, or I think I want to say Raging Blast.
no, that's the remake. That's the modern remake in Raging Blast 2. The original actually stemmed from an OVA from a video game with OVA cutscenes back in the 90s. But yeah, Raging Blast 2 was a remake. But Hachiak is such a self-contained story. It's a one and done. I mean, you already have GT with Baby and the Tuffles. You already had the original Tuffle backstory and the Z filler. If you do adapt Hachiak, it's a very self-contained story.
Yeah, and the only other person they could possibly do is Slug.
A rogue Namekian, yeah, because you got Orange Piccolo and Gohan Beast, give them some more screen time. But
So imagine a Dragon Ball Super version of Slug.
I could see that.
But I see Cooler. I see Cooler being.
Cooler's the most likely. Cooler's next in line.
Yeah,
Cooler is next in line.
Because because I feel like if they make Cooler canon, his power level is going to be off the roof.
Okay, how about this? Instead of getting roped into his father's empire, Cooler essentially funds the Galactic Patrol, basically, because again, any organization has to have funding. So Cooler privately funds the Galactic Patrol and the Galactic King's a figurehead. He trains under Whis for a while because you need a necessary contingent to keep Frieza in check while Beerus is asleep. But then after Frieza and Cold are killed, whether by Goku or future Trunks, depending on the timeline, Cooler abandons his training because, again, let's just say Cooler's a bit more honorable than Frieza. And just say, hey, if Beerus is not awake to give me a fight, if I can't challenge him for the mantle, there's no point in me claiming it while he's asleep. Because I gain nothing from it. Even if I claim it now, Beerus is just gonna kick my ass and take the mantle back.
Right.
So what would be the point? I might as well just seize the power vacuum, rally my forces with the Galactic Patrol, and just rule the universe through a Galactic Republic. I keep Frieza's remnant in line, help the mortal level if possible a little bit, probably not by much, but a little bit, and then we all go our merry way.
But do you see more of a golden Cooler being a thing, or do you still see?
No, I see full on Hakai Shin Destroyer Cooler.
You think they're going to make Cooler a god?
No, because if Cooler was training under Beerus and Whis briefly, then Beerus goes into his 40-year nap. And not to mention, Whis has access to pocket dimensions, including his own staff.
Right.
So what if Cooler got the Destroyer form? Let's just say Cooler did complete his training. He does get the actual Destroyer form, not just Ultra Ego. He just doesn't claim the mantle while Beerus is asleep because, one, it's a dick move, and two, Beerus is just going to dog him and take the mantle back. Or if not,
really is
outright because he's that petty.
Right. I can see that.
So if he's not strong enough to challenge Beerus directly, what would be the point?
Yeah, I feel Cooler is the type of character that'll be like, okay, just go ahead and go full power. Just hit me with your best shot.
Yeah, Cooler is much more pragmatic than Frieza.
Frieza just he's cocky.
He's a narcissist. He's a narcissist. Let's just call for what it is.
All right, so if we're gonna get into Beerus, we haven't seen Beerus as 100% yet. We may have seen about 60.
75% if we're counting the movie version of Battle of Gods.
But what is Beerus as 100%? I'm talking about full on, like incomplete Ultra Instinct Beerus.
Maybe if we're going using Topo his actual Destroyer form, if Beerus actually uses his Destroyer form in a fight, then we know he's at 100%.
I still feel like Beerus will still be able to take on them 3 Saiyans, though.
And again, Beerus doesn't even have to use it, really. I'm not going to say Beerus is as lazy as Champa.
Because we said that Beerus hasn't even mastered Ultra Instinct yet.
Yeah, that's why he relies on his physical strength. He relies on his Destroyer form. He just doesn't use it because hardly anyone's pushed him to that level of power.
But these 3 will.
It depends how much out of shape Beerus is. I can't see him resorting to his Destroyer form from the start. Maybe Ultra Ego or maybe Hakai Energy, but his full display God of Destruction form like we saw with Topo in the anime, I can't see Beerus directly using that form. At least not immediately.
I'll say close to the end, like if you know Goku and Vegeta fuse into Gogeta, and then you got Gogeta and Broly versus him, then maybe Beerus might be pushed to the brink.
Yeah, but even on a 3v1 with just everyone individually, Beerus is not using his full destroyer form. He's going to stay in his relative base and use the powers of destruction and just dominate them through sheer experience.
Or he'll just sit there and flick and Hakai them.
No, they're too amusing. The Saiyans are too amusing for Beerus. He's not going to Hakai them outright.
I mean, if they push him to like against the wall, he might.
Granted, Beerus is that petty, but the moment he destroys them, he loses a huge chunk of his entertainment.
And then, he feel like the universe would be doomed if he does. So,
So
but
yeah,
if so, I'm just gonna jump in. Now, my point of view, I feel like here's how the battle will start. You will have Goku may go Super Saiyan God. Vegeta might go Super Saiyan Blue. Broly might just go Super Saiyan. They might tow for a little bit. Beerus might be pushed to at least 45% of his power. Then Goku might go Super Saiyan Blue. Kaioken. Vegeta's going to go Ultra. I'll call it Blue Evolution. And then Broly to his full power form. Beerus is going to be pushed to his 100%. And they're still going to be, I guess, thrown to the ground, not be able to touch Beerus. And I can see Vegeta getting cocky. He's going to go Ultra Ego. And then I can see Broly getting annoyed. He's going to go full power Berserk. I'm talking about like his full on Hikari form as legendary Super Saiyan. Like he's going to be full power Super Saiyan mixed with his Hikari. I feel like that's going to be his snapping point. And then Goku is still going to be, I guess, in his full power Super Saiyan Blue instead of Kaioken. Because if you remember in Dragon Ball Hero or Superheroes or whatever, Goku, when he was fighting with Xeno Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Goku's hair was dark blue. So I will call that full power Super Saiyan Blue. So I feel like those three would at least put up a fight with Beerus until Goku is pushed to Ultra Instinct. And then Broly's going to be, I feel like Broly's going to be knocked out first because I feel like Broly's not going to let up on Beerus. So I feel like Beerus is going to go after Broly to get him unconscious. So now you just got Vegeta and Goku. And then Beerus will be able to take on a 2v1. And then the Saiyans will fuse. And so you might have a UI Gogeta or a Ultra Ego Gogeta. Or it can be a mix. I don't know how that fusion will work, but I feel like in the end, both of them will probably destroy the universe until there's nothing left. I mean, that's just in my opinion. I feel like you can't really declare a winner on this fight.
I agree to that if we go the full catastrophic scenario. Now, if we go the full chaotic scenario, I think at some point we would call the fight the moment they start. If they were fighting with reckless abandon, the universe be damned. If they were fighting with reckless abandon. But let's be honest, Whis would probably warp them into a pocket dimension, and then they shatter that dimension during the fight.
So you're saying that Whis is going to trap them in a place similar to his staff?
Similar, yes.
So is it going to be like hyperbolic time chamber?
It does, well, something like that. I'm not going to say it's a hyperbolic time chamber specifically, because again, Whis' staff leads to a pocket dimension in of itself. So they might just throw them in there for their fight, and then take them out before the staff itself shatters.
Yeah, I can see that, or I can see Whis agreeing with it because Beerus wants to.
But if Beerus actually used his destroyer form like Topo did in the tournament, he's gonna dog all three of them. It's no contest. Goku might last the longest because of Ultra Instinct, and Beerus can't hit him directly. But the moment his stamina gives out or he fades out of that form, Beerus is just gonna dog him to the ground. So Beerus in his actual destroyer form, similar to Topo, would dog them, no contest. But I don't think Beerus is going to resort to his destroyer form immediately. He'd have to be pushed to that point.
Yeah. I don't know how long it's going to take or how each of them is going to push Beerus to that point, but I would say in this fight, he's going to go 100%. That's no doubt.
Yeah, he'll use it at some point. But I don't. But the moment he does, if Goku and Vegeta don't fuse, they're going down. They're gonna get bodied.
Yep. Well, we're going to go ahead and hop into our open discussion. Now, we are free to talk about everything or anything, but I'm very glad that we find like the internet now has a clear understanding that there's really no way to declare a winner d- depending on what scenario you use except one, and that is Beerus using his destructive power. It all depends.
Yeah, there's no real clear take on this fight because again, he Beerus is more experienced with Hakai energy. He's been a destroyer for 75 million years, bare minimum, or at least that's as far back as we can naturally calculate. And the fact that he has his actual destroyer form in his back pocket if the anime version of the tournament with Topo is anything to go by. Because in the manga version, he still didn't use it. In the manga version, he did not use his destroyer form. Frieza had to coax him into it.
Yep. So I guess we will have to
Hold up,
find
Hunter,
out.
your mic's giving out.
Oh, I never. I thought I had my mic down. Uh, but I really do agree with that. I don't think that this fight would ever happen. Maybe I don't know. Hopefully it does one day.
Okay, the only way I can see this fight coming because again, Broly is roughly the same age as Vegeta, and he's been training in Mel conditions on planet Yardrat. So he's probably the most malnourished out of the lot of them. Goku has an extra 7 years because he chose to stay dead after the Cell games, and Vegeta uses the time chamber every chance he gets. So Vegeta's probably going to age out because again, once they hit 80, they age out of their physical prime. So depending on how often he uses the time chamber, Vegeta's going to age out of his prime first, followed by Broly roughly a year later, depending on whether he uses the chamber or not, and Goku has an extra 7 years on his belt. But without his two main rivals, what's the point?
Right. So it all depends. I mean, I feel like this fight won't happen because I guess Akira Toriyama doesn't really see it happening. And you know what is it? Canon wise, I don't think this fight will ever happen.
It's more likely that Shin would get killed off by a big bad, and by extension would kill Beerus, thus deposing them of a destroyer. And Oob will be set up to take that role because if Shin dies, Beerus dies with him. And of course, it can always bring Shin back, but I think for the nat, he would be disposed at that point because Oob would be groomed for that role. He's the current reincarnation of Majin Buu. Boo's going to be constantly tempting Oob to have a psychotic break to reawaken Kid Buu as Super Buu. And what's the best way to contain a chaotic evil? To put him in a position to where his destruction can be used for the universe, keep him balanced.
Right.
But whether or not they actually find, okay, if that were to happen, either Beerus would have to be brought back after when all said and done, but not claim the destroyer mantle anymore, or Oob would be trained specifically to be Oob's replacement and a destroyer candidate, unlike Goku and Vegeta, who trained directly under Whis in the beginning. Which
I
means
guess
Oob,
I thought Vegeta would have been more of the destroyer level.
it's more natural to him, but Vegeta did train under Whis first in the very beginning after Battle of Gods. He, alongside Goku, trained under Whis first, then Vegeta diverted to train under Beerus after the Moro arc.
Right. But he got ultra ego, so I thought he was going to be the god candidate.
Okay, if this was anti-hero Vegeta, which is just about everyone's favorite version of Vegeta, anti-hero or Cell Saga Vegeta, the badass extraordinaire.
What about Majin Vegeta?
Again, that's more of a okay. The only reason Majin Vegeta is even a thing is because he wanted to force Goku's hand into a rematch, and he fought if Goku with Goku content. In other
He
world,
beat Goku's butt, but Goku didn't go Super Saiyan 3 though.
Goku did not go Super Saiyan 3. If
He
in
would have
fact,
bodied Vegeta.
yeah, but he would have used up his 24 hours on Earth if he did that. Not to mention, it would have been a huge blow to Vegeta's pride, and Goku respects Vegeta as a fellow warrior. So Goku did deadlock with Vegeta at 60%, which is full power Super Saiyan 2, but I don't think he would have resorted to Super Saiyan 3 during that fight immediately. Vegeta would have had to really piss Goku off to resort to using 3 just to shut Vegeta up.
But Vegeta was really towing with him.
Again, they were deadlocked. Yes, full power Super Saiyan 2 is roughly 60% of Goku's max, but they were deadlocked. Like they were freaking even. And that was over the course of 5 years cuz again, and that's not a bad translation. Vegeta technically greed for Goku and stopped training for roughly 2 years before he got his neutral back using Gohan as the yardstick caught up as the number 1,
Right.
other than Goku who chose to stay dead. Now, if you watch or if you believe that Bojack Unbound is canon, that's how Vegeta gets his mojo back during the events of that movie. But otherwise, he just starts training again one day. Maybe an argument with Bulma, maybe to be a better example to Trunks now that he's at his toddler years. But somewhere in that 2 years, Vegeta finally gets his mojo back.
But I can actually see what you're talking about. Android, Rogue, I guess, soloing everybody, anti-hero Vegeta. I guess now he would have destructive power.
No, he would have taken it. He would have taken the path of destruction and be the destroyer candidate. He would have taken it, no questions asked, just to dominate the universe and best Frieza and King Cold. Scouter, anti-hero Vegeta would have taken it, no questions asked. He would have cared. But Buu Saga Vegeta and beyond, no. He's a full family man. He's practically all but fully redeemed. He had a moment of weakness with Majin during the Buu Saga when he, agreed to become Majin to force Goku's hand into fighting him. But other than that, he's made multiple strides of redemption and atonement since then. He'll use the power of destruction in his training to compete with Goku in his own path to power, but he will never claim the destroyer mantle. He just wouldn't do it.
Oh.
Unless unless the temptation to keep his youth was brought up. Because again, when you're actively a destroyer for your universe, you don't physically age. So unless Vegeta wanted to keep his prime and keep his youth, that's the only reason I could see Vegeta being tempted.
Yeah,
To keep his youth and be number 1.
Yeah, I totally agree. But I don't think Vegeta would want to do that though. So
He'd never do it. He'd be abandoning his family if he did that. He just wouldn't do it at this point in his life.
All right. So before I show y'all this little bit of a new video I uploaded, when is Dynamic Duo supposed to
The
happen?
next episode of Dynamic Duo, I'm taking the week off because I'm having a little bit of I'm handling some business with family. But I will be back roughly this time next week, and next Wednesday will be Dynamic Duo episode 6, manga versus American comics.
Yeah, and everybody blow up JHEAT's Twitter on hashtag Dynamic Duo, and because Power Hour is above, so we're ahead, so we need to get that Dynamic Duo back going. I have some ideas too, so for episode 7 and all that. Oh, and everybody stay tuned because next episode is going to be my 10th episode celebration. I have a very good topic that I want to go over. And I also have something special, everybody, for episode 11 of Power Hour. So these 2 episodes are going to be a banger. Hopefully I can, for episode 10, I'm going to do what I best to get my buddies at Comics League and Taladia in on it because I'm guarantee it's going to be a topic that they want to talk about. So y'all stay tuned for that. I'll drop it on my Twitter. I'll link my Twitter in the comments and in the description. So stay tuned for that. But without further ado, here's just another Kraber clip that I put on YouTube that I wanted to show.
Tossing jump drive. Grenade!
Reinforcing my Evo shield.
Cracked an enemy shield. Fire! We've got a minute.
Reinforcing my Evo shield.
45 seconds until the ring closes. We cracked an enemy shield. Reloading. Taking damage.
30 seconds until the ring charges at us. But we're close.
Cracked an enemy shield. Reloading.
Healing up. Ring shrinks in 10 seconds. We're close.
Target there. We're all outside the ring and a enemy here.
Scouts in here.
Jump drive out. Healing.
Final round. Beginning ring countdown.
Listen up. We got an enemy here. Near the ring and it closes at 25. What's the plan?
When you've been chased by nightmares, nothing scares you.
Yeah, so that was kind of it was kind of clutch how I came at there in the end. So y'all subscribe to my YouTube channel for some more Apex clips. I got another Apex video I gotta edit and upload. So y'all stay tuned for that. But is there anything you want to add?
Like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell so you don't miss a video from me or Kid Takeoff, and flame off.
All right, I'm your boy Kid Takeoff. Peace.
He blaze.